fellow travelers, if you're planning a trip to Vietnam, then you might want to stick around because I'm going to be telling you 10 of the important things that you need to know before you visit the incredible country of Vietnam. So let's not waste any more time. I'm just going to get right into it. So, first things first, I think almost everybody needs an e-visa to get into Vietnam. So this application process is fairly simple. You can go on to the Vietnam immigration website, which I'm going to link in the comments below, and you can just apply for your Vietnam visa online. You would get it within 24 to 48 hours. That's how soon I got mine. In case you have any issues with the website, because my husband was having challenges applying for his online. So we reached out to a travel agency which was able to get the visa pretty quickly. So I'm going to link that down below as well, and you can definitely reach out to them. They're trusted and they can definitely provide you with any visa assistance that you need. Besides that, I just recommend that you try to apply for your visa well in advance because we were last minute as usual. But yeah, definitely try to apply for your visa in advance. The second thing that you need to know about is currency. So the currency that's mostly used in Vietnam is called Vietnamese dong. Although US dollars are pretty accepted in most of the places as well, and they also accept credit cards. So you don't really need to convert lots of dongs to take into Vietnam, but it's always recommended to have some for some street side buying or some places that actually just don't accept any other currency. Another thing that you definitely want to consider before planning your trip to Vietnam is the weather. So the weather in Vietnam is pretty diverse because obviously it is a huge country that spans north to south. So in the north, the winters can get pretty chilly. So in places like Hanoi, it could get pretty cold in the winter time. Whereas in the south, which is Ho Chi Minh City, over there the weather is pretty moderate throughout the year. So it's pretty warm throughout the year. And then in the middle, you have places like Hoi An and Da Nang. So these places have like rainy season and those kind of things as well at different times. I'm going to put a little chart over here where you can check out the different weather in different parts of Vietnam at different times of the year. So once you get to Vietnam, how do you travel around? So driving in Vietnam is very chaotic. There's no lanes and there's bikes everywhere and cycles and cars and everything everywhere. So I do not recommend that you drive in Vietnam unless you're absolutely used to driving in complete chaos. So what I do recommend is an app. It's called Grab. So they work like Uber, and it's very economical and it's very easily accessible in almost all parts of Vietnam. So I highly recommend just take a Grab. It will make your life so much easier. Another thing that you must know about is the food and water safety. So obviously there is a lot of delicious food in Vietnam. Like we definitely had a blast eating in all the different restaurants and trying all the Vietnamese food. Obviously just use your own judgment on places that you want to go eat. Just try to go to places which look kind of clean, or places that have like grilled food. Those are obviously better options if you're getting street food. Besides that, it was recommended to have bottled water at all times. I think just that our bodies may not be that used to like the local water, so it's better to just have bottled water just as a precaution. So Vietnam sometimes has a bit of a language barrier because not everyone speaks fluent English. So what I highly recommend is to learn a couple of phrases so that you can get by in Vietnam. Also, you can obviously use Google Translate, which we used a lot of to get our questions across to the people that we came across. Another thing that you will notice in Vietnam is that they do have a bargaining culture. So don't be afraid to walk into shops and bargain for a better price than the one that they've posted on the outfit or on any of the items that you're planning to purchase. Just speak to the shopkeeper, ask them for the best price, and I'm sure that they would end up giving you a discount. Because I remember a time that we went into a market, they were selling a bag for almost 1 million Vietnamese dong, not US dollars. And we bargained and ended up getting the bag for about 400,000, which was a pretty good deal. So don't be afraid to bargain, but just do it with a smile and just be polite as well. As I mentioned before, Vietnam is a very chaotic city in terms of traffic. So while you're crossing roads, it's always recommended to look both sides, be very careful, and then cross the road. Try to kind of follow what a local is doing, so that because they're the experts in crossing these kind of roads. But I do recommend just be very cautious when trying to cross Vietnamese roads. I'm definitely one of those people who always need a SIM card when I travel to any country. It just makes life a lot easier when you're trying to Google best restaurants around you, or a good coffee shop, or like how do I get from A to B. So I highly recommend just getting a SIM card. It's very economical over there. And they also have this thing called an eSIM, where you basically don't even have to take out your SIM. They'll just take your phone, register another SIM, and somehow it just connects. And I think that's the best thing that has been invented in a while. So you can definitely try to get yourself an eSIM card. It will just make your trip much better. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on is, obviously, do check when there are holidays or major events happening in Vietnam, or actually in any country that you visit, because these are key factors in how the city is going to be when you actually show up there. Because sometimes you'd show up all excited and then you'll realize, like, oh, all the shops are closed. So then it kind of kills a whole day in your trip. So I highly recommend you to take a look at all of the holidays, which I'm going to list over here. So you can look at these dates to just make sure that your trip is not coinciding with these dates, unless this is something that you do want to experience in Vietnam. So there you have it. These are my top tips for planning a trip to Vietnam. It is definitely a beautiful place to visit. I know I had a blast, and I'm sure that you will too. If you have any questions about your trip to Vietnam, or how to plan it, or where to go, then leave a comment below. I'm happy to answer all of your questions. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care and stay safe.